Hi there, today I'm going to tie a saltwater baitfish, and for this we're going to use some Microlon in 4 different colors. We're going to use black, white, grey and hot pink. Then we're going to use some Supreme hair and some lateral scales in this very nice mirage color. First of all, I'm going to tie down some super hair. I'm going to tie this so it's going to surround the hook, as close to surround the hook as possible. The reason why I'm using Supreme hair is it's a durable, translucent, transparent material that has a lot of stiffness. So if you use this as a base for your baitfish patterns, then you will minimize the tendency of the rest of the materials to kind of swing underneath the hook. So I'm just going to take 2 bundles of this and tie this down. So I have a fairly nice and decent bundle here to stabilize the rest of this bait fish pattern, like so. As you can see, I have tapered this so I have more up here, and then it's going to taper back towards the end of the fly, just like a real baitfish. Second of all, we're going to take some Microlon in white and transparent. I think this color is called clear. Nice color. Taking a bundle of this. This is a very a material that moves very freely in the water and adds a lot of life and a lot of movement to your flies. So a nice material for baitfish and other big flies for predatory fish. Taking some of this, just first a bundle. That's going to be the same length as the Supreme hair, like that. Cutting off what's left, turning this around, and as you can see again, I've made sure that all the ends of this is not uniform in length, making this so it's kind of envelops the entire hook. It's gonna be, and envelops the super hair. Hope it looks as cool on your side as it does on mine. Like that. Tying everything down nice and tidy. Then I'm going to take my flesh material. If you want, a nice addition to this fly could be that you took some of this, for instance, some wing and flesh. I'm going to take a small bundle of this here. Take some wing and flesh, like this. And just add this here. Give some effect. Not much, but a small amount here. And then I'm gonna take 5 or 6 strands of this this very vibrant material, the lateral scales in mirage. I don't know exactly how it's pronounced in English. These are going to be the sidelines of this baitfish, so I'm going to tie these in here, making sure that they are not completely even in length, and they are roughly the same length as the rest of my wing. I like to have some bit more flash effect in this type of fly, so I'm just going to turn it over, tie this down again. This way the flash will be fastened doubly. It will be so the fly will be more durable, and also you have used all the material, so there's no you're not gonna spill any material, and I like that. There's no need to be wasteful with materials. After all, they are expensive. They do cost money. Next off, I'm gonna take a bundle of gray Microlon. Just gonna place that on top here. Side down. Make sure this is where I want it to be. It is. Cutting it away. And then as a final touch, I'm gonna take some of this hot pink Microlon to add gills to this small baitfish. So I'm taking a fairly small bundle. We don't need that much for the gills, something like this. And I'm turning it over to double it, like so. Cutting it off, as you can see here. So I have something, a small bundle here. Gonna put this right there, fastening it with a couple of turns, and then I'm gonna drag it ever so carefully, so I get it placed exactly where I want it to be on the side. Like that. Doing the same thing on the other side of my hook here. Like so. Cutting the leftover off. Making sure that every part of this red stuff now is covered with tying thread, so it's not gonna shine through my head in a second. And then the final touches, I'm gonna take a fairly small bundle of black here to be the top of the fly. Hi again. Sorry for the delay. My son just awoke from his nap time, so it's 8 hours since I last was at the vise. Well, what I was doing was I was applying this finishing touch, this last black Flylon onto the pattern here, to give it a nice contrast and make it a lot more like a small herring or a small sardina. And make sure that everything is exactly as it should be on this pattern. So tying down this just a few strands of black to add this final contrast here. Cut this off like so. Gonna make my whip finish. And then, of course, what we need is to finish this fly off with some ice and some UV curing light. So first of all, I'm gonna take a small amount of UV curing glue here, just to make sure exactly where my eye is placed at the right spot, like that. and then I'm gonna start building the head. And do this, this is the great power of this UV curing glue is that you can build your head in the stages exactly as you want them to be. This last part of the pattern is of course going to take a little time, so if you don't want to see the rest of it and you know what to do now, you can skip this last part. But I'm going to finish the fly off using the UV curing glue here for everyone who's not completely certain on exactly how you want to do this. And as I said before, the trick here is to apply the glue in small stages, so you are secure that your glue is exactly in place before you turn on the light, because the glue here will harden the second you switch on the light, which is of course why UV curing glue is such an awesome way to do this. So you can really build these beautiful symmetric, completely perfect heads with a very minimum of problems. You can see I'm missing a small amount here. There are numerous different types of UV curing and brands of UV curing glues. I like both the Buck Bond, but I also like the this is the Buck Bond I'm using here, but I also like the Clear Cure glue. This is actually their biggest torch I'm using here, because their biggest torch is fairly cool. It has a very high lumen rate, so it really puts out an enormous amount of light, which is great for this type of work, especially on bigger flies where you apply more glue. It's not completely even. It's more like it. Well, and there you have it. I think that actually this is a little too long, so I'm gonna trim this down. I'm gonna cut off some of this to make my baitfish here a bit shorter in length. And as you can see, what I'm doing, how I'm doing this is I'm not just cutting straight across, because that would be a major mistake. That would make all my materials cling together in just one bundle and not move individually, which is definitely something that you would want for a fly like this. This is a better size. So around that size, that is how I think this should be done. The small Flytying herring